Looking at the gold chart on the screen. This is Rick Ray from rickrayfx.com/profile. That is my website where you can go to find out more about me and about Forex trading. And there is my QR code you see on the screen there. And that is if you want to join my Line official group where I post my weekly analysis video, and also occasionally during the week we'll post a trade setup if I have one, and also posting about the news. And talking about the news, what sort of news? Well, here we are in the Friday US session has already opened. So let me just jump over to that tab and we'll be looking at that right now. And I should be doing my screen share here. There we go. Yeah, okay. All systems go. Only two items that we need to be concerned about in the US session. And one is the Jackson Hole Symposium, of course, and that's the big one, and that's where Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be speaking this evening. And as we know, Jerome Powell always shakes up the market. So this is going to be cause quite a lot of volatility from 9 p.m. That's in about 1 hour and 40 minutes from now, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Jerome Powell will be speaking, so we need to be aware of that and be watching for that. And that will cause volatility with gold and with all of the major currency pairs, anything that's paired with the US dollar. And then and what would normally be a high impact item is the revised consumer sentiment, but that's really on the back burner because the big one is this one right here with Federal Chair Jerome Powell when he's speaking. If you followed Forex for any time at all, you know that when he is speaking, the market definitely moves and moves big, usually. Of course, there's no guarantees in Forex. So let me just take a drink of my coffee before we look at the charts. And I will now go over to the daily chart on gold. Just share that with you. Make sure I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, there we go. You can see everything. That's not virtual background, by the way. I'm at Starbucks, and they have some fantastic decoration on the wall. Makes it very colorful. It's not virtual background. That's real background that you see there. Okay, so here's gold trading at 1918 right now on the daily chart. And this is the number that we need to be watching. If we can close above 1918, then we're very likely to, if we start moving up, very likely to go to that next resistance level, which is 1936. And that's not very far away. We have support at 1900, of course. That's our very strong psychological support. If we should start to move down, if Jerome Powell is saying good things about the U.S. economy, then gold, that will put pressure on gold, and gold is likely to drop down, and we could go as far as 1900. Not a lot of difference between these two areas. 180 pips to go down, and about 180 pips to go up. So that's what we're watching for, is this 1918 level. But don't expect much to happen until we see the news at 9 o'clock and when Jerome Powell starts speaking. That's when all of the action will take place. And this is really what we've been waiting for, is this Jackson Hole Symposium, where you see yesterday we had a doji candle, a lot of indecision in the market, not much movement. It moved up above 1918, but then fell back down and closed yesterday at 1916. So let's have a look at the 4-hour chart and see what that gives us. And you see how we're just staying along here today, bouncing up a little bit above 1918, and it got up to 1920, but has come back down and playing around in that zone right now. This is the support resistance zone where we're in now, just waiting on the news to come out. All right, if we go back to so we're actually bullish on the 4-hour chart and bearish on the daily chart. So that means if gold is going to start to trend bullish on the long-term chart, then we need to be closing above 1918 and preferably up around the 1936 zone. But we just have to wait and see what the news is going to say. Now let's look at the 1-hour chart. And here we are. We came down a little bit today, got down to a low of 1915. and now trading at 19.18. So only a small difference there, only $3. Okay. Now I'll go back to the day chart, and what I like to look at is the DXY. People ask me sometimes, why are you only looking at the gold? Well, gold is paired with the US dollar, and so I look at the US dollar index, and the US dollar index, the DXY, is the US dollar compared with 6 other major currencies. And what we've been seeing is a steep climb, a rise in the US dollar since the 18th of July. And it's gone all the way up here, and it can go further. All right, it can go further. We're right there on that trend line right now, just staying around that, but it can go further. We just need to wait and see. It's very, very overbought on the stochastic, and it's been overbought since about the 31st of July, but it just continues to move up. The US dollar is strengthening, and that puts pressure on gold, and that puts pressure on the US currencies, the currencies that are paired with the US dollar, the euro, the AUD, the New Zealand, the pound, the USD CAD, the US UJ, etc. So everything is bearish against the US dollar, and that's putting pressure on gold. So just to say gold, that's why I always look at it as paired with the US dollar, and the major currencies will move uh, along with it, generally speaking. Okay, but here's the DXY strengthening. Can it go higher? Well, let's just quickly look at the 1 month chart and see. Here's where we are now, and here's where it has been before. So yes, it can move a lot higher than where it is now. We can continue to see strengthening of the US dollar. It is possible. All right, it just depends on many economic factors. All right, what is the Federal Reserve going to do? And that determines the strength and weakness of the US dollar. So go back to the day chart. All right, so strengthening of the US dollar puts pressure on gold. That's what we've been seeing, but we did get a little bit of a retracement on the US dollar, and so that's why we've seen gold starting to come up a little bit. Sometimes gold can move in tandem with the US dollar, but generally speaking, if the US dollar is stronger, that's going to put pressure on gold, and gold will go down. So looking on the day chart, the stochastic, if you look at the stochastic, anybody that follows that, that's at about 55 right now. On the 4-hour chart, the stochastic is on 70. And on the 1-hour chart, the stochastic is on, I don't have the stochastic on the 1-hour chart. Okay, so now we've got on the 1-hour chart, we have a doji. So we're going to see this, a lot of indecision, and it's not so much indecision, it's the market is waiting to see what Jerome Powell is going to have to say. And that will move everything one direction or the other. It'll be a lot of volatility. It might be a big move up and a big move down. He might say, well, the U.S. is doing great. However, so it just depends on what he's going to be saying. All right. So be sure and stay tuned for that. And this 9 p.m. evening time in Asia, that's in Vietnam, Laos, Malaysia, Cambodia, and just check forexfactory.com for your local time on that. All right, still no comments here. I appreciate all you guys being here from watching me live on YouTube, and also I'm broadcasting on India Forex Traders on Facebook, and also Africa Forex Traders on Facebook. And I'll just switch over just briefly before I close out. If anybody's interested in CopyTrade, I have a new CopyTrade platform. All right, and there's a QR code you can scan to go and get more information about the CopyTrade platform. Anybody can follow. All right, the instructions, the steps that you need to take, you'll find on my website, rickrayfx.com/CopyTrade, or you can just scan the QR code from your phone and you'll go to that site. All right, if you're interested in CopyTrade. Anybody that has any questions or comments, you can always reach me at Telegram. My Telegram ID is at rickrayfx. And back to my full screen share there. So thanks again for being here. I hope you have a great session of trading on this last day of the week on Friday. TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. This is Rick Ray signing off. I'll see you again in the next video.